I'm going to say what a lot of people don't want to hear. Deion Sanders' overall record at Colorado entering 2026 is 16-21. You probably didn't hear that on SportsCenter. You probably didn't see it trending. And that tells you everything about what this video is actually about. Because I'm not here to lazily call Coach Prime a fraud. That take is too easy and frankly too wrong. The fraud I'm calling out is something different. It's the annual machine that keeps selling Colorado like they've already become something they haven't yet proven they are. I get why people are all in on this. On the surface, the case for Colorado is genuinely compelling. Deion Sanders walked into Boulder and turned a program that hadn't mattered nationally in years into must-watch television essentially overnight. His first full season went 9-4. Travis Hunter won the Heisman Trophy. Shedeur Sanders became a legitimate first-round NFL draft pick. The Buffaloes were one of the most watched programs in the entire country. Going into 2026, they've added real transfer talent. DeAndre Moore Jr., Boo Carter, Santana Hopper, Leona Lafa, and offensive line reinforcements. ESPN ranked them 9th in Big 12 offseason team rankings. Deion himself said after spring that the roster feels further along than this time last year and that he's finally building continuity instead of rebuilding midstream. That's a credible argument. I'm not straw-manning it, but here's where it starts cracking.
Reason 1, this program still lives on constant reset, and nobody wants to admit what that actually means. Colorado had 35 to 36 scholarship transfer departures this offseason, one of the highest totals in the country, according to both ESPN and Sports Illustrated. Of those, 16 were players who started games in 2025. Let that sit for a second. That is not a mature contender trimming the edges. That is another full-scale rebuild. And both coordinators are new. Brennan Marion comes in as offensive coordinator, installing his go-go offense, and Chris Marv takes over as defensive coordinator. Two first-year coordinators running a new system. When half your starting lineup turns over every offseason, you cannot build offensive line chemistry. You cannot build defensive communication, and you cannot build the kind of trust that wins close games in November. If every spring looks like an expansion draft, stop telling me this thing is fully built. Reason 2, the offense lost its cheat codes and it hasn't replaced proof with proof. Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter were not just good players, they were the entire engine. Once they left for the NFL, the offense cratered to 114th nationally in scoring. That is not bad luck. That is a scheme revealing it barely had bones without elite talent propping it up. And here's the number that never gets cited. Deion Sanders is 1-5 in close games without Shedeur at quarterback. He's 6-10 overall in games decided by 10 points or fewer. That's not a talent gap, that's a coaching and structure gap. Julian Lewis is an intriguing quarterback, but after spring ball, Deion himself refused to name a starter and said consistency still had to be earned. Meanwhile, Jordan Seaton is gone from the offensive line, the most fragile position group the Buffs already had. Brennan Marion's go-go offense is a fascinating concept, but a new scheme is still a theory until it survives Big 12 pressure in October. You don't get to lose your superhero quarterback, your generational two-way star, and your best lineman, and then act like vibes are enough to cover all of that. Reason 3, the hype still outruns the results by a significant margin. Colorado is coming off a 3-9 season. They went 1-8 in Big 12 play. That's 15th out of 16 teams in conference. Going from 9-4 to 3-9 in back-to-back seasons is one of the most dramatic single-year power conference collapses in recent memory. Most programs that fall that far are dealing with a coaching change. Colorado lost a generational quarterback instead. And yet every spring,
the national conversation skips straight to ceiling talk. Colorado wins March. Colorado wins April. Colorado wins Media Day. The problem is Saturdays still want receipts. And the receipts keep coming up short when the gap between talent and infrastructure gets exposed. Now here's where I'm gonna pump the brakes on you. Because this video is not a lazy Deion takedown. Deion Sanders is not a fraud. He revived a dead brand. He made Boulder nationally relevant when it hadn't been in years. He attracted a Heisman winner, multiple first-round draft picks, and a level of cultural attention that most power conference programs can't manufacture with a full marketing budget.
He went through prostate cancer surgery during a rebuilding season and kept showing up. He's willing to make hard staff changes instead of protecting his ego. Frauds don't move the entire sport's attention to their zip code. What Deion has proven is that he can create relevance and pull elite talent through the door. What he hasn't proven yet is that he can build a rugged, line of scrimmage winning program that competes when the cheat code players aren't there. That's not a fraud, that's unfinished business. So here's the hard verdict. Coach Prime is not the fraud. But if you're walking around right now selling Colorado as a stabilized Big 12 machine, before they've solved the quarterback room, before they've rebuilt the offensive line, before the new coordinator schemes have survived a single snap under real pressure, before they've stopped losing 35 starters per offseason, then that hype is absolutely fraudulent. Deion is real. The annual overpromise is not. Buffs fans, I'm giving you the floor right now. Name the signature unit, not the vibe, not the brand, not the media narrative, the unit. The offensive line, the quarterback room, the secondary. Tell me what Colorado has proven on the field that matches the size of the marketing. I'm not denying the talent. I'm denying the coronation. Drop it in the comments.